Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Leap Plays. So I tried to record a video like a second ago, and it didn't work out so well. So I unlocked the Imelda in that video that only lasted like a minute before I decided I'd start try again. So yeah, we're gonna try out Imelda and see what she does, or what they do. Alright, let's get into it. So I totally had something in my mind that I wanted to say, but for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So this morning I woke up. Fire one. I'm the type of person who, when I wake up on a weekend, I just kind of like to sit there for a little bit, watch something on my TV, check my phone, hang out for like half an hour, depending on how lazy I am. If I'm being honest with myself, it's probably more like 2 to 3 hours. But it's on the weekend, so who cares? Copium. So this morning, when I woke up, normal, nothing interesting. Checked my messages, checked my Facebook, checked my all my social. I like to shoot more. All my social media. I watched a couple videos of, don't remember what I watched. And then I go into my kitchen. I'm hungry. I want to make breakfast. I'm gonna make some eggs, and then I'm gonna make some fried rice to eat at work tomorrow. Had it all planned out in my head. So I have two 20-gallon aquariums in my kitchen. There's like a breakfast bar on one side of my kitchen, and then just normal countertop on the other side of the kitchen. Spinach. Ow. And when I go into my kitchen, the side that's on the countertop that's next to my fridge, not the breakfast bar, I think we get weapons. I think that's what I'm kind of messing up on. I don't have any weapons. I look at my countertop, and it's just entirely covered in water, just soaked. And what happened? I think what happened was, so when you have an aquarium, to people who don't know much about aquariums or keeping fish in general. There's a lot of like common misconceptions about keeping fish. One of which is that you can just put a fish in water and let it sit there for ever and it'll just be fine. That's not really how keeping fish works. Spinach. Ow. You can tell that a lot of people don't know this based on how many people just like buy goldfish, or people who think goldfish only last like a couple months. In actuality, a goldfish will live like many years, and I think, if I remember right, goldfish don't stop growing. I think a goldfish will just grow continuously, and that's why there's like a huge problem. There was a lake somewhere in, I forgot where it was. There's a lake somewhere where people kept like dumping their goldfish, and I think goldfish are just essentially carp. And carp is already an invasive species in a lot of countries. I don't know actually where carp came from. I know that, like, the history of a carp is that one of the kings back in whatever time really liked eating carp. So when they colonized the New World, they brought over the New World being, oh lord, a bark carp with them. And it was supposed to be like this delicacy, but now people think it's gross because they call them like mud suckers and other things like that, because they just suck up. I think we just got a knife. They just suck up stuff at the bottom of the rivers, lakes, streams, wherever they are. So carp is an invasive species in a lot of places. And if a carp can survive in a location, a goldfish will probably survive too. So goldfish are a huge problem in a lot of environments. Because of that, they'll just eat everything and they'll just grow to like massive sizes, and not many things can actually eat them. So just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they just never stop getting bigger, and they keep eating and eating and eating. And when they eat, they tear up the river beds or the stream beds, and it makes it hard for new plants to grow in there. So, oh, what is this? A clover. So that all being said, that was just to tell you that goldfish aren't really the super simple pet that everyone. Why can't I walk through these? Why do you not tell me that I can't walk through these until I hit them? Sorry. They're not the super simple animal that everyone thinks they are to keep, and they actually are supposed to live for a very, very long time and get very, very big. So when you buy a little goldfish, little tiny goldfish, and you put it in a little tiny and you put it in a little tiny bowl and expect it to just die really fast. Ooh, I forgot you can't walk through those. You're actually doing harm to the fish, and whether you consider that a bad thing or not is up to you. Not my place to judge you. But if you put it in a super small tank like that and it doesn't die, eventually its growth stunted, and it won't be able to. So if you put something that's supposed to grow bigger in a smaller space, it just naturally will not grow bigger. And but it'll like, and then like internal organs will get all like smushed up, and it'll just be either really, really sad until it dies, or what? I have no idea what that did. Or I had no idea that's what that did. I'm getting hit. Will I be dead when I come out of this? If I'm dead, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Fire wand. So yeah, that's one thing about fish keeping that people don't really understand, that one of the major things you're supposed to check when you get a fish is how big of a tank you're supposed to get. So some fish that people think can survive in these little tiny like office place desks, like the little like 1 to 3 gallon tanks, and they put let's say a betta fish for example. A betta fish actually, there's also a lot of misconceptions about a betta fish, and then I'll get into that at some other time. I can talk about that for. Let me get a shield. That's a whole other thing. We'll stick to what I'm talking about kind of for now, but just as an example, a betta fish, the proper size tank for a betta fish is 5 to 10 gallons, and depending on who you ask, it could be more, it could be less. Any less than 5 is too small for a betta. They won't be happy in there. But once you get the size of the tank right, there's also water, the condition of the water that you have to worry about. And by the conditioning of the water, you can buy water conditioner. So tap water a lot of the time has chlorine in it, and chlorine is bad for most living things to exist in. So you can buy water dechlorinator and you can use tap water. But then, ooh, you push that bad at me. But even after that point, you have to worry about. So even once you get past that point, so you have a proper size tank for the fish that you want. It has dechlorinated water, but there's more. So on top of all of that, you need to have. Ooh, give me the floor chicken. You want to also have your tank cycled, and what that means is there's a nitrogen cycle that your tank is supposed to go through before you can add fish to it. Oh fuck. Okay, remove it. So everything that makes waste makes ammonia, and when you have an aquarium, what I tell people is essentially you need to, if you have a cat or a dog, if you can live in the environment, odds are your cat or your dog can live in that environment, and it's pretty easy. I think it's pretty easy in respect of that to keep it like a mammal pet or a terrestrial pet, something that lives in like the same environment that we do, it's not like you have to have, for most things you don't have to have a certain amount, unless you're talking about reptiles, I think. You don't have to have a certain type of air to keep these things happy or alive. But with the fish, you have to worry about the essentially you have to make an entire, let's say, ecosystem where you have to have like a whole different atmosphere that it has to be inside of. So you have to control, look at this. So you have to control the amount of oxygen in the tank, the amount of CO2 in the tank, the amount of bacteria in the tank, the amount of ammonia in the tank, the temperature of the water in the tank. You have to control all of that in order to keep a fish alive. And it sounds like a whole hell of a lot, but so how you get it to, so you put the dechlorinated water into a tank. Oh, my face. That was really bad. Thank goodness I had shield. Once you put the dechlorinated water in the tank, then you let it, then you have to buy a filter of some kind. A bunch of different filters you can buy. You can buy a back hanging filter, which is what I had when all this leaking started to happen. Stupid. You can buy a canister filter, which like goes inside of the tank, and it just the top of it sits at the top of the tank, and it like sucks the water from underneath and it pushes out the top. Or you can have a sponge filter, and there's a bunch of different kind of sponge filters. Let me get this. The most basic kind of a sponge filter is literally just you hook up an air pump to a let me out. I'm really glad I bought that shield. It's it's basically a sponge with an air pump, like a aquarium air pump, and you hook it up to the top of it, and it does some weird stuff with water pressure. Like it makes like a little vacuum and it sucks it. That's besides the point. So those are like the 3 types of filtration that I know of. Oh my Lanta. Let me out. Oh, this is easy. I can make it. You will never get this. Oh Lord, you gonna get this. Leave me alone. Why are there so many? Jig. Whip him. Whip it good. Hey, we made it. So far. Alright. As long as they're not champion in the way. Fuck. Leave me alone. Ah, shit. Why do they always put a champion right there? I don't think I can make it past 10 minutes or 11 minutes. Let me take a drink of beer real quick. Alright. I think let's get some power-ups. Could I buy anybody? Is there anybody? I think it's the only characters that are available. I don't know. I think I'll go back to this character. But so once you get that filter set up, the filter will like come with instructions on what to do, and it'll have the filtration media in there. And depending on what kind of filter you get, depends on what kind of media you need. That's why I think sponge filters are probably the easiest, because it's literally just a sponge that... Okay, so let me explain what the... Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place with this. It's kind of... I like the bird. That's kind of like who I am as a person. When I'm just rambling, my ideas go all over the place. So about the filter. So what a filter does is, what you want your filter to do is essentially it sucks up water from your aquarium and it puts it back into the aquarium, but as it's doing that, it also or it filters the water through it has to filter the water through something, or else it wouldn't be called a filter. So what it filters it through is the medium, and what the medium does is it's whatever medium you have. What its purpose is to hold beneficial bacteria. The beneficial bacteria being or basically quote unquote eats the ammonia, or gets rid of the ammonia, and then puts that back into the tank. So it takes the water full with ammonia and passes it through some form of media, and puts back in what is it called? Or water with no ammonia in it, or very little ammonia in it. So you get whatever filter you think is going to be best for you. Personally, I usually use back hanging filters. I don't know if I'll keep doing that because of what happened with my current aquarium just this morning. Or you can get a canister one, just go inside. I have a canister in an aquarium that I don't have any fish in, that's still cycling, so getting ready to put fish into it. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I think I'm going to take the canister off, if I'm being honest, and just go with sponge filters, because it just seems like it's gonna be better for me in the future. Because with the back filter and the canister filter, you have to constantly buy, or not constantly, but every once in a while you have to buy media to replace it. So you have to replace the media after a while, and you have to obviously buy it and replace it. Spinach. I just don't feel like doing that anymore. And the sponge filter that I have in a different one of my aquariums, just doing fine. I think so. So we'll see how that one goes. But so once you get it cycled and all the beneficial bacteria are living in the filtration media that you picked, in the filter that you picked, you can then buy fish. But I recommend buying plants to go alongside that. Let me get that over there. So buying plants to go alongside the filtration, because plants also get rid of ammonia and keep your tank healthy, so it's not all put on your filtration system. And it makes the plant like living plants, so they eat like all the fish poop, or the fish poop and waste fertilizes the plants clean the water, so the fish live longer, so the fish poop more, and the poop makes what's it called? And then it's just like the poops make the plants better, and yada. So once you get, I recommend you put the plants in. I don't know if you don't have to wait for your technical cycle to put the plants in. You can put the plants in when you start this whole process. I'm gonna recover HP. So plants are in, filters on, filters running. Tank finally gets cycled. That has enough beneficial bacteria in it for your fish to not die when you put them in, or to live longer when you put them in. Let me get this. I need this because I'm bad. Now you wait like a month, maybe 2 months, depending on. Oh, that's like a ball sack. They gave me a ball sack. Oh, it's garlic. Oh, excuse me. I had to take a drink of my beer. And now it's time to put your fish in. No, wait, it's not. Depending on what kind of fish you have, if you have a cold water fish, a warm water fish. This is all for freshwater. This isn't even getting into saltwater. I haven't even touched. I haven't even touched saltwater yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know if I want to. I think there's more money in saltwater because you can grow like coral and stuff, but that's a story for another day. So this is all for freshwater. So now you have a fish. Let's say you want. Let's use just a betta as an example. A betta fish or a beta fish or what do they call them? A Siamese fighting fish, whatever you want to call them. Those fish. So those fish are tropical fish. Most fish you find at a pet store, most freshwater fish that they sell at pet stores that people really buy are tropical fish. So depending on the fish you want, tropical fish you want it between, let's say, at the lowest I've ever seen is like 70. The highest I've ever seen is like 82. A betta fish probably wants to be around 78 to 80 degrees. So now you have to buy a heater for your aquarium that has the right wattage for the amount of water you have. So I don't, off the top of my head, I cannot remember the amount of wattage you want for a betta fish in a 5 let's say betta fish 10 gallons. Like, let's say 10 gallons. Like, I don't remember the wattage off the top of my head, but it'll tell you on the side what it's rated for. Personally, I always go a little bit higher. So let's say they have a 10-gallon heater and a 20-gallon heater. I'll usually buy the 20-gallon heater because I feel like it actually will heat the water to the temperature that I want it. Don't listen to me. I'm pretty new to this stuff. Even though I've had an aquarium. I've had aquariums for like, it's probably been about 5 years since I've like started this whole thing. Sorry, I never actually thought about that. And that's why I buy them a little bit bigger, just to make sure that the water is the temperature that I actually want it at. Not like if I set it to, let's say 80 and then it's like sits at 75. I don't want that. I want my water the temperature that I want my water. So now you have a heater, or you have a tank, you have dechlorinated water, you have a filter that or you have your bacteria that you want in your tank. You have the plants you want in your tank. You have the heater to warm up your tank for your fish. Now it's time to get your fish. And let's say you're the type of person who doesn't just want a fish. If you want a betta fish, people will just want a fish, because betta fish are known to be pretty aggressive towards other fish. And their tails are pretty susceptible to being like bitten by other fish. Like I would never buy, I think they're called tiger barbs. I would never buy tiger barbs because they're notorious quote unquote fin nippers, which is basically they'll run up on your fish and bite their fins for food. So I would never buy something like that. And so you have to look, so if you want more than just a betta fish, you have to look into, well, what fish go with a betta fish? What fish are like fin nippers you want to avoid? Slow fish you want to avoid? Stuff like that. So you have to know all this stuff if you want to add more fish to your aquarium alongside it. Oh, am I gonna take damage here? Does this count towards the cooldown on the garlic? I'm just gonna stand here and I'm just gonna take all the bats you coming with me. So yeah, that was a long explanation on something. And then on top, before I'm done with this tangent, on top of, then your fish tank is fine. Let's get more experience. So now you think we're done. No, you are not done. So you have all the stuff, you have your fish, it's happy in your tank. Now, every For a 10 gallon, I say every week. Every week, you have to remove, depending on who you ask. Again, this is a lot of who you ask kind of thing. Aquarium keeping or fish keeping is kind of a lot of who you ask. I say once a week. You should probably you have to take out 10% of the water in your aquarium, and then you have to replace it with more dechlorinated water every week. Now your mileage may vary. Some people, depending on how many plants you have and how many fish you have in your aquarium and other stuff like that. I've heard of people who've gotten away with never doing water change. So this is called a water change. 10% water change every week. Some people have it set up like that where they never had to do it, and kudos to them. None of my aquariums so far have been able to do that. I'm gonna take this damage. So it's not impossible to get that set up. I've just never seen it in person. I've only seen it in videos. I'm not saying that they're liars, but that's just I can't speak to it because I have never done it. But yeah, so every week, 10 to 20% of the water changed, and then yeah, after that you're pretty much done. Depending on the plants you get, you might have to trim them like any other plants that you would grow. I'm leaving out some stuff about the, like, if you want to use sand or gravel, what kind of stuff you want to use there. That's too in depth for the basically the point of the story that I'm trying to get to, which is I wake up this morning and my 20-gallon tank is just, oh no, is just surrounded by water. It is so, like, it's swimming in a pool of water on my countertop in my kitchen. All I wanted to do was make breakfast. But no, for the next 2 hours, I was stuck cleaning up the water. I didn't have to do this part, but I've had I had two identical back of the tank hanging filters. Two identical ones in my 220-gallon tanks. One of my tanks never had an issue with it. This one, like, every once in a while, it would just leak for some reason. Couldn't figure out why. I think I know why, but I'm not willing to admit it. Because if I'm being honest, I don't really care about this tank nearly as much as I care about my other tank, because it just doesn't have as many fish. It never seems to do as well when I add new fish to it, add new plants to it. It just does not seem like as good of a tank. And I have to figure out why it is, but I'm just like too lazy to figure it out, because it's doing fine for the fish that are in it and the plants that are in it. I got werewolves now. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. So I know it's been an issue. I just haven't done anything about it. I added so it had a back filter, and then I also added ooh, I need that. I need you. And then I added a smaller sponge filter than is rated for that size tank, because it wasn't supposed to be the main filtration in it. Don't wanna go. Oh, I need to pick up XP, but I'm getting swarmed. So I decided, since I've had a lot of problems with this, I had a little filter in there. Oh, they got ghost swarms now. Oh, I'm gonna die here. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been fun. This game's hard. Alright. I think I run one. Oh, what is this? Can I buy you? How'd I get down there? Skelly boy. Oh, I can't even buy you. Oh, I did buy you. Okay, good. Alright, let's try this. I'm gonna finish this whole tangent before. So it shoots a bone and it bounces. Cool. So I have beneficial bacteria in the sponge filter. So I thought to myself, hey, fuck it. This back hanging filter has been causing me nothing but issues recently. Let me just replace the back filter. Because I already had a 20-gallon sponge just because I wanted to try it out, but I never wanted to switch out the filter, I didn't know if I was gonna buy a new tank or if I was gonna just switch out one of these filters for that one, and I didn't know which tank I was gonna switch it for. I thought the whip was gonna come out faster, so I finally did it. So I have a 20-gallon sponge filter and a 10-gallon sponge filter in my new aquarium. Cleaned up all the water, did my water changes for both my 20-gallon tanks. And I did I think I did 50% per tank this time because I haven't done like a huge water change like that in a while. To King's Bible. And yeah, everything seemed to turn out fine. One of my tanks, the one that I switched out the filters for, it's a little hazy. Oh, that's one thing that if you ever buy an aquarium, that's something you need to watch out for. If you do a water change and the water is kind of hazy after you change the water, or if your water is hazy in general, that's probably bacteria buildup. So it's more in depth. There's like 2 different types of bacteria in your tank that one's supposed to be there, one's supposed to be there and it eats the quote unquote negative one. I think I should probably explain this. I don't think I need to explain this at all, but I'm not like sighing because I'm tired of explaining it. I'm just like, I don't think anyone's gonna want to hear me talk about this shit. But I feel the need to explain it because I'm bringing it up. So ammonia gets eaten by one of these bacteria. It's either nitrates or nitriles. I don't remember what they're called. And you don't want that bacteria. You want the bacteria that eats it, which also starts with nite. It's nitrate and nitrile, I think. And one of them eats the other one. And the one that eats the other one is the beneficial bacteria that you want to have. But you need the first one to eat the ammonia. It's weird. I feel it's really weird. I don't really understand it. I just know that one of them's good and one of them's not so good. You want a little bit of each. Almost weird. You want a little bit of each, but you don't want too much of the negative one, of the one that just only eats ammonia. So when you do a water change and your water is a little bit hazy, it's because one of those, I think the one that eats the ammonia, is a lot higher now, and is a lot there's more prevalent in your tank. It's called a bacteria bloom, and you just have to, you can buy, I think what they call quick start at most stores that sell aquarium stuff, and that'll help. It'll add more of the final stage of bacteria into your aquarium, and it'll make the water more clear again. So the tank that I replaced the back filter with the let me get this. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So that aquarium is hazy right now, but by the time I wake up tomorrow, it'll be all fine, and those fish are pretty hardy. That should be fine for a night. Yeah, that's what I did all day instead of cooking. I had to deal with a bunch of fish stuff, which is it's pretty rewarding. I just listen to something on YouTube or listen to some music while I do all the changes of the water. Also with that tank, I moved around some of the driftwood and rocks and stuff that I had in there, so I think I made it look nicer now, which is also like part of the reason why I do it, is to have something cool to look at. If you never own fish and you're willing to do all these annoying steps that I just mentioned, that I probably didn't paint in the best of lights because I'm just tired, but in actuality it's not that bad. I taught one of my coworkers how to do all this stuff. What is a cross? I don't know what this is. I want to buy it. Oh, it's like Silver's Q from League. I told one of my coworkers, I never went to his house. I never really told him what to buy or anything like that. I just told him the general, the gist of how to do everything, and he got it. He's got an aquarium. I forgot the size of his aquarium, but he's got an aquarium with a decent amount of fish. Had it for like a month. No issues. I'm trying to time this whip right. So it's like it's not impossible to do. It's not really that even hard to do. It's just a lot of like, if you're type of, like during the pan pizza that we're going through, the Piccadilly Pringles, you know, the whole COVID thing we're going through. It's kind of, since we're not traveling, most people aren't traveling a lot. It's kind of a interesting hobby to get into, since you can't travel. With traveling, you have to worry about feeding your fish, and then when you probably have to do a water change before you leave. You can't leave for that long unless you know somebody else who you trust to come into your house and do your water changes for you. But I don't know anybody who I would trust to do water changes for my fish. So I usually just go, when I go on trips, I just go for a weekend or whatever. But that's just something you need to like think about before you try to get into this. If you're somebody who doesn't travel that often, it's pretty fun. It's super relaxing to like come home and I just like lay on my couch and I just stare at my fish tank for a while. Let me get another projectile, 2 wheeps. Wheep, wheep. And starting an aquarium and trying to figure out what you're going to put in it, how you're going to decorate it, if there's going to be a theme to it, what plants you're going to buy, all that stuff. I think it's pretty fun. And seeing it all work out after months of waiting, months of planning, seeing it all like come together, I think it's pretty rewarding. Even though you bastards. Even though I have a 10-gallon tank that I was supposed to do something with, but I haven't even really wanted to do anything with. So I don't remember if it was this video or the last video I said when I'm just rambling on about stuff, I kind of jump all around. When I have a hobby or something like that, I also kind of jump all around, and I had to like, I'm really bad at like buckling down and doing one thing at a time. So with the aquariums, my first aquarium is one of my 20 gallons. It's like super stable. Anything I do to it, it's fine. I can do a water change like once every 2 weeks and nothing bad happens. It's pretty self-sustaining. I like it a lot. So that one is cool. My other 20 gallon, I rushed. And it has fish in there that I don't want to put with some of my other fish, because one, you're not supposed to put too many fish in an aquarium, or not supposed to overload an aquarium with fish, because the ammonia will get higher and there's not enough beneficial bacteria. Oh fuck! Probably not enough beneficial bacteria to cope with the amount of ammonia that your fish are going to be producing. So I should have paid more attention to what was going on with that tank before I actually moved fish into it and stuff like that. Let me get more projectiles. I think actually if I just add more plants, it'll be fine. But the problem is not all plants survive in that tank, or don't do well enough in that tank to like grow enough to really put a dent in whatever the issue is. So I had to figure that out, but I should have already figured that out, and it should never have been an issue. But once I start doing something, I like to, sometimes I feel like I overdo things, but it's something I can work on as a person, something I need to work on as a person. The irony being, I've had a VTuber model for, I think I've had it for, it's coming on along a year now that I've had it, and I only recorded one video, and I don't have all the stuff that I want to do for streaming done. This is kind of the opposite of my other problem that I have with the aquariums. I don't want to do it. I don't want to start streaming or making too much content until I have everything that I want set up. That being having I keep forgetting to buy a Stream Deck. I'm also kind of broke right now because of the whole not having any work to do at work for close to 2 weeks. So I want to have like my Stream Deck, my all my overlays and stuff done. I want to have games that I already like have planned to play, ready to go. I think I have to just bite. Oh no, I can thread the needle. Thread the needle. Let's go. So I'm pretty close. I think I have an overlay for when I'm playing games. I have a quote-unquote room for just like sitting here and talking to people. I don't want to pick that chicken up. I have be right back screen. This is the first bone upgrade I've got. Do I want to upgrade the bone? I don't think I want to upgrade the bone. Oh lord. Oh lord, they back. Oh lord. But yeah, I'm just kind of weird in that sense that I like to have. Sometimes like to have everything done before I start something, and sometimes I just want to fucking do one thing and just then do this like before that's even done. Do more of it. I don't know. I'm kind of impatient person. It's weird. But probably not weird. Probably a lot of people have the same kind of things. Ooh, and I'm gonna die here, so I'm gonna not talk too much about anything else. Cause this run's about to be hella over. Jig. Oh, can I not go through that? Oh fuck. No, I can't. Oh shit. I hate these fucking squares that you can't walk through. There's clearly you could walk through the freaking. Make space. All right. That was another around the same time loss. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.